for no see a chatwo abo aha Ctv Ghana's #1 ebrason say and some who do and fear die and saka imejibre na mede esomo say Ctv enumre no nsia Kasiebo kaisa Kasiebo no enye hankon ena twegu Facebook ne so a etwegu ho live my Ctv gh follow na like na fenso wa share e de ama onyonko na wono so enye bi ahwe sem no e do so pa ye hwe ne a edi mu akotine no ebi abeto dwase ECOWAS Parliament womo ako eyeto anasento abons rahwe ewo eye Accra Compost and Recycling Plant onomo a wakoshe said anyoma esifa eco running mate Emma NDC Manye Nuekie no eye Professor Jane Nana Opoku Ajiman na ade ase wakonsra hwe ewo mankesim na wone adeton forma ene memma hyenkafo akokasa wo kyerɛ sɛ wo bepɛsɛ ne mabo eba fompa de ne afia ba ye beton wonto emfama NDC Manye Nuekie wodwede ene sikasem Kasiebo emu no Dr. John Kwache e de atodwa wo kyerɛ sɛ anse no my Ghana city no ebetumi eja na so anase nanim ebebanyam no ho behia sɛ nneɔma hodo a ye kra edi fra ma hodo so eba o my Ghana mu ene ne a edi fra my Ghana mu ekwa ma hodo so no ho behia sɛ ye de policy bi ebeto ho enche ye bia ena yekun eye Hamas so mo kandini ana so mo leader baako ya we no ayare hosem e wa Hamas man no emu nam so ama eye tototo ene bombo ahodo ena yeto e wokro no eso we nam so ama mampani Joe Biden e de atodwa e chese ne akoso no enya de se beba ne senti won hwe na wonyai ensem wein afromi so eka ho ena magibra me de eso mo se Ctv enumre no nsia Kasiebo de opa matade e de mamie eye Dabex Designs e woteshi wo se fa wonto ma wolezi ahodo bra na wompam ne kama emfa ema number no e wo screen so to betimi afa na woni Dabex Designs akasa enumre yi mo somfo eye me Manye Nuekie mamwajo medase afe yenhye ensem no ase sei na mrahye bedwafo a wodom eye Committee of Agriculture, Environment and Natural Resources, Energy and Mines eye ade se womo akonsra hwe ewo eye recycling plant here no ewo nkrambumpu ne mantem womo eche se wokɔ hwe sedia nioma esifa eko honom
aspire even for very good legislations in my country back. I'm very challenged. I have come to the realization that there might be a little need for heads of government, heads of states to cry, the repetitive cry that sinks on unemployment and unemployment for the youth. You can imagine what I realized of recent is urbanization. That is to say, the youth population moving from the rural area to the urban, to the capital. So, how can we make the reverse? If we cannot give them the requisite facility or opportunity back home in the rural area, then it is here reprocessing, redoing of waste product like plastic. You can imagine if you are running to make a farm, running to cultivate the garden, come here in the capital, you can see processes where women, men can be employed ready-made. I'm really inspired from what I've seen in Jospong Group, and I urge Jospong Group to actually replicate things like such to other West African countries, ECOWAS countries. It will help with the members of parliament to make uniform, generic legislations, policies that will give back from those processing those plastic, the original homes of those plastic, how they can compensate ECOWAS countries.
Plastic, it used to be a problem, but now, I can say the awareness has been created and people are beginning to appreciate the value of plastics. Internal waste because yen separating from source. I didn't good as been a baha. Machines na ewo yichina muhu ye no eno na eboa my separate fractions into organic waste no echo one side na yi plastics no so echo one side. Plastics no we semi process them into pellets. Now yes we have fed that back into the system for plastic manufacturers say will be useful for other plastic products.
Yetwa ensem no so na yenko yenim na running mate Emma NDC Manye Nuekie no professor Jane na Opoku Ajiman na ade se wa konsrahye anase toabo ewo infantiman peswa ne so honom na ade se wone ahyenkafo wana woton wade ene ade hye binum a wo honom ekokasaye wabra wakasaro de tu dwase eneyi oman ni mayede ne pa ma enuane mpo nya de se omanfo etumi eto ne senti wo kire se wamu epese o my Ghana sanso efa ne ntema pa efrade a ene afia ba ye beto no hweso beto aba no ede ama NDC Manye Nuekie no
na ihu de NDC abani bia obu mesiafo dating American dam o sando otum obu mesiafo intino oba igwa oyaza odana akomado dem igwa kakraka osi wa hia ya hyase de wi odaho asi ho dating ye hwe igwa o sane igwom oye mesiafo hia na office kese intact da ya kotokraba esede ya ye kejetia esede ya shema nkesi mase ibinu so kaka ho a na nya da no kwa o se na yim de mesiafo no ho onfa so yenyim do ya party obu mesiafo ohu mesiafo mobor ito onyim so da ya kogoyi mi se ya boto na ade na sika no fihi baba sika no fihi baba na ya za aton na ade ina mebunu no wenye adwumenye inse menye adwuma ye me se a na manka fa me na hone ye nto na ze na baaze na mzo ko ne za akoto na ze o ye sika sifihi ebo he na ekwa anker ho ana ankwa anker ho a ekwa na ho ankwa na ho brother penyin ahwe anker crowd na yire wa afọ ho tan o se na wo de bebi e ba sama na ebe station ske na o kire da o ho no so nze mebiri sai ana amaboa debe bia ko brother ni fie nche na yiripo na onyankwa nche fi no bobu onyichu ede na wa bandam keji na bebi a oya atete na mo ame ye ono kra mponye de anhwe ye ya na dam ekon wesi mmoframa no so wontem a oye wore wunua enyi na enyin nche odam me waka ko wo ho na opapem dentia osane ye enyi bi ise dama hawi ehe na mesiafo na ye enyimo na maka de NDC obu mesiafo a ne senti wo ho
ebusafo yanko eye ekumfi nakwa na afarefo binuma womo ewo ekumfi nakwa ya womo eye NPP Manye Nuekie ne komma e de atodwa wo kire se wedi NPP aban hu yemo papa esa ne se efri se NPP aban ebetena so no ebo ahodo a wa hye womo no nya de se ba kompo wedi so ne senti wedi no hwam papa ne senti na yi wo kire se no support pa de wayi e de free NPP Manye Nuekie no echi e de omontoma akobo NDC Manye Nuekie no e de ano wode nsam yi etodwa wa bra running mate Emma NDC Manye Nuekie no Professor Jane na Opoku Ajiman no konsrahye e wokro so a wone afarefo ekodi nkita ho
anya menye me NPP pa na anabu kokoyesi majimo kwa me NPP ya senadio sentune no so kwa ba fira du tika ho ya kwa pa infedo somebody do I say yes put my yeah I say in the school peace my millionaire atugudo oba emi na me ko mpa no na wo ye adanti wo ho adanti bi ho na me ko ɛhwɛ ade wɔ de so lɛsɛ yɛ kwa nkure na wɔwɔ ɛkɔ nkure na wɔadwe mu ɔyɛ aka ma asɛm ɛde asoma de amɛka ne dɛ pɔtɔ na yɛde kwapɔn ɔyɛ ne pɔtɔ na yɛde kwapɔn ɛho data adoge na yɛtɔ 18 million ɔno 10,000 mpo ndɛ kɔtɔ pɔtɔ wɔ sɛd ahụ pɔtɔ kɔtɔ wɔ sɛd na ɔyɛ 19 million ɛna wɔatɔ ne 40 million pɔtɔ 70 grams no yɛtɔ 40 million ne kɔ adwuma ɛkɔpɔ na ɛkɔ no ɛhe nam a na ɛbɛ ne dɛ yɛbɛsrɛ dameke yɛto aba ma kɔkɔɔ no ɛmu wɔakɔ na maame atena wei ɔbɛde ɔbɛka paa dɛ ɔbɛwi ni maame kɔkɔɔ ɔbɛwi ni ɔpɛɛtɔ ɔmbɔdɔ kɔman
Enyume no sia Kasiebo ena wenugu so a wo share with CTV Ghana's #1 so no follow yen e wo Facebook ne so at my CTVG e show like enwa se ehye e de ama onyonko na wono so enye bi ahwe yento ansem ne so na yenko yenimu e wo ensem foforo emu na efri afia pem ahakono ediosia enai 1964 ni mu na eye wo saje for Dr. Kwame Nkro wanya ba bi ekro wo si eye Commander Sugar Development Company Limited ye nei eye Commander Sugar Factory na efri efia bebre ni ya company ya desa akesi ho a yemfa eni dwuma wenam so ama nansen entem ya desa Trade Minister Katie Hammond wada betu dwa watch se aban no e de sa company no e ma eye West African Agro Limited enfie mako edwenu na wo mo enye so adwuma se be na Ghana so e benya kakra edie wenam so ama concern media for e kire se gina esi a aban esie no nya de se wo mo etiasie CTV amani boni
eya reho sa omanya yetim awurade de yen mabunu ahye yen panifo nsa wona nigye ni se da ye wa hohorem ne ya fo ye ni adamfo yantu ye ni hwe adwapade ananom ye empofiri osaje fo kwa menkoma breso besene adwapade ahodo bibisa wo ahena sesi aka ye ni hunu ya tonto ni nyina ma ye ho ye busua ene ye namfo no enti se yakoda ene yesode no wura Katie Hammond a ohwe enfidie enwuma so ye so be ka kire yense eye Commander Sichiri factory no so wode ma India for be yemfihie aduonu ana enfihie dunum ko se fihie aduonu entemu a eno ne ma ye kokko pam ye mmirimu a ye trikutukum esanse ye hunu no se wona boyen abra yesu se bitafrache aban no no se John Dramani Mahama Commander Sugar Factory a Nyakopo nam no so revamp ye after 1964 Osajifo Kwame Nkrumah ehye no ono no factories na nkasa na isise ade no fa bi ma long legs we have raised plethora of issues yesusu say aban na ntie ya enye se ebia ye born training emum eyade a ebebam panyifo se entesu kokko wo bibia nim enso ye jati fita danu ne yesi wo Kenya no maka ho asem enura ne yesi wo Nigeria no asem enye se Ghana mabunu yehufo eyobuo ni die ne de me empanyifo and we are using this medium to send a word of caution to especially Minister of Industry and Trade His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo owura maame ne empanyifo aka nyina se yes rom amatom bi ye nansi ya me ni amre through the instrumentality of Honorable Okudjeto Ablakwa TUC ni empanyifo bi aka any other civil society organizations ye ni amre anka 4 major hotels ewo yen Ghana for Sasnet no anka me no kase anka moton apart from that no nansi a owura pon kuma ka kire se saglem so moton enye team saglem not for say anka ba na we ko ni say nienti ekoje $35 million say ye de ye Commander Sugar Factory no say ye beboa ne ahwe so ne di buntunma bebre aba na won we won kankan ye Commander nya biaye na yenye esichire ama pharmaceutical companies Ghana for enya foreign exchange sesia ye de ma ahogoi no mama ya bosumi ya katue eye sa company ni yensem biem some be fa Ghana for some fa Ghana for yentimi ni sa some be ma akuafo adua eye ahwede ne yenye esichire anombe kra yentimi mi sa esan se yesuma brewa yɛbɛkɔ hwɛ deɛ mfa yɛ ho ɛno nti na yɛfa fidie wei so aka kyerɛ wɔn sɛ yɛsrɛ wɔn ɛkora se wawe waka nso wɔnweyɛ wɔn nyɛ wɔn nsɛm wotu owura ketua ma nkorapɔ na ɛmɔbɔ sɛ I'll give them approval they'll come to that na tim sɛ Ghana yɛ ne dea in the first place our pay crew mu mebunu etu one was here tiko no adwum bi anim enti there's no way so be ya de pa bi a ebetimi asom Ghana for enti e fa CTV afide we so aka kire won say they should stay off Saglemi you can say they should stay off Commander Sugar Factory na ne kura no yakota say His Excellency John Dramani Mahama said no catch na nanu atena nkonya ewo mfimfini mante so oba on operationalize Saglem can say oba o operationalize Commander Sugar Factory mayen na maburu no enya binye
Yetwa ensem no so na yenko yenim na Professor Godfrey Ebokpin were economist and professor of finance at the University of Ghana. Now, what they are to draw watch they said your mining wire dini and yoma and shada and quay your mine at tapan some. I said, Contibino, a fear by a bet one, a by beer, or bedding Kunimuno, and says the ministers and as a swap for Ebro or Hanai.
Professor Godfrey Ebokpin say Ebraso sa ba ne de nneoma gu akwan so na wo hwe kwan e bi so anya sika wo manyan mu na de aba wo man hu bra na fe nneoma bi a ema aban no sei sika no otumetete so kra wo say ebra ko nanim no e wo sa aban etete na so na agencies ni department ahodo nso a emfa mfa papa bi amero man no we yifiri ho owura ne to a ne nsem so kire say IMF bo sia bo kra o man abo no emwa o man sika no kra nso o man sansa Ghana fo do ana eguso edos na sebetimi a enka aban no enyi 11 free ho ene to ahodo bi a emo o men na dia ho kira beto Ghana fo so no aban ni yi ni nyina na Ghana fo ekomudwu wonum.
Since 1993 the governance cost which tends to benefit politicians and the elite is becoming too much and unbearable for the economy. Once we continue like this, it leaves very little fiscal space for growth-enhancing spending, especially in the area of education and health and agriculture, where majority of Ghanaians draw their livelihood from, and where the impact is high. That is what we need to do now, and there are certain practical steps that we have to take. Sentiment is negative. How do you restore that? The next government, and if possible, the current government should start setting very drastic. If you look at what Honorable Kweku Kwatin was talking about, these are things that you need to do to governance support and restore confidence in the administration. If we can't get that under this current government, then the next government must put credible leadership on the table that internalize austerity before it passes that on to Ghanaians. That's the way to go. My recommendation is that the next government should not have more than 40 ministers. We should be working gradually and progressively to reducing the number of ministries as well, and also department agencies, authorities that we have created. All of these are drawing on the fiscal space, but they are not really contribute growth.
Ora Abdul Karim Mohammed, a coordinator Emma Economic Governance Platform, and also any and some true need to train
implementation of the IMF program. It has been a year and about a month or so since we went under the IMF program. There have been 2 reviews by the IMF, both of which Ghana passed, and we have had 3 releases with a cumulative of about $1.6 billion that have been released to us. But the question that we ask ourselves is, how well is the economy going? Are we truly on the path of recovery? And we had official pronouncement, but this was to have a review from the citizens' perspective, to have a look at how it is translating into our welfare. From the various dimensions. We wanted to look at the real sector, energy, agriculture, health, and the social spending. We are looking at health, education and protection, as well as the macroeconomic indicators that have been put out. How meaningful, what sense or what meaning can we make out of it? And from here, I think it is very clear that yes, we are seeing signs of recovery, but we will need to do a lot more if this is to be sustainable and to take us from the doldrums that we find ourselves. The challenges that took us to the IMF will require that we take a new course if we are not to repeat the cycle of having the boom and bust and always having to resort to IMF's bailout to get out of the economic challenges that we are facing.
For Professor Bokwin and Sema Wokan watch us aban dia obedi nkuni mu afi aba eto ne mu no ensese na so afo ebro eye edunan metre 40 yentoa ensem no so na yenko doma na doma hene eye osagefo osiade ye doctor Ajiman bedu ye otoso mienu e de atodwa ye a wo kire se ene yimra hye bedwafo ehyebo a enya de se wo mo ediso kwan bia so ne senti wo de to Ghana fo ni mu se yenhwe se ebo bia mra hye bedwafo ebehye no womo ebediso
ebi okoso Ghana na manyofo no ba cheda ne ba yesa enya baako be nyina Ajiman bedu antoso mienu de na atomasi ahene na nkoso ahene fo je domafo ba dedam na menkasa obiya baba tena konwa no so ade e wo ye a onya no maka wo ye ba mamu a madwuma ba ji afirimensa ma ji firimensa na didi obiya obatena so na ugidi se wontimi nya ne ye nhwe na nkoye ya ma na nya onwonwa ntedoma ngro ana ba bi ante bi amebe mawitem mabot ja ama wa hu ade na onye de onkoye okoye su amede meka na makamfo ade dollar baako akwa na no mesi sansika 15.8 akaka krabi na du 16 nana cement Euraje ekofo emra ofri so nana no e ACDs 50 pesos Yeura Mahama ofri so no e 16 cedis ene wonante badi sikana baba kwa to dane abrochire badi baba kwa gu abrochire sikana basa nana esa enya wo nana jana nya wo ne baba so sa enya nana dumasu anyene Yeura ne de baba no so nana sa asemi na ekama kuma se menka ne samre
afia ni ena dumasu ahene nana kwame amponso otoso yenu one nehema nana tamia tuene na tranko nyina aje ye nan to mo se ye mebo emadumasu afuro no na ye ayemfo maako enan na nana mponsa ne na tranko jade yesi akonwa so ena me ne mehema ye beye eye nkoso hene ne nehema ye wodumasu na me kai 37 years ago na me share nyin sa ena miura nana kwame amponsa otoso mienu dumasu ahene yede ne si akonwa so ka asabe madumasu ayekra behwe na wabɔ mmɔden ayɛ die nipa timu yɛ na ɔma bebree na ayɛ te yɛn so yɛ bɛyɛ kakra na de asɔpɔto na ama na amamu no atumi akɔyi te no yɛwɔ adeɛ bi ɛpɛ ne sɛ the 7 years development plan of Dumasua yɛ lanche no ɛyɛ 7th of January 2024.
Enyume no Ctv Kasiebo ene wedugu so awo share with CTV Ghana's #1 so no follow yen e wo Facebook ne so at my CTVG e show like an wa share e de ama onyonko na wono so enye bi ahwe ento ansem ne so na yenko yenim na wosoafo ya wo share apomudin ensem eso e wo my Ghana mu e Dr. Bernard Okoboy na e ade se wabo research institutions ahodo a e wo my Ghana mu abaso na ensem nyina ene se wobra COVID-19 ade na ema na homne so no e ade se wo mo etumi eba my Ghana pa enya semkuma
Dr. Bernard Okoboy nkasa yi mu no ode tudwa se wo hwe COVID-19 ya bebe sense wo mai ko mu ma na me amfafi a enka eje nsemu no wo se ho nkyerɛkyerɛ ene afutuo dodo no a research institutions ahodo no ho wonum na de afutuo din nkyerɛkyerɛ ma aban so ehunu baabi a obetumi ede ne yasie ya nyame ya adom yetumi akuti a COVID-19 ya de ene mpo enyarewa ahodo bi eba na ate se wiase afa na baabi a obasa na ma omanfo hehini apota wonum ho no ode nsemi Tudra Wabra na West African Center for Cell Biology of Infectious Pathogens ewo Legon Suapono emu edi won finhie du afidida na ose se wo hwe institutions bi ete saa no a wonom boa pa ewo nyarewa ahodo ekotia ene kwan a omen so betumi afa so no ne saa nyarewa ahodo no etumi akoatie.
On behalf of the minister, I offer warm congratulations to the management, staff and students of WAPIP for their impressive achievements over the 10 years. The impact that WAPIP made in research and training of young scientists has vindicated the decision of government of Ghana to sign up for the World Bank African Centers of Excellence project. In 2013, the government of Ghana made a major commitment to promote higher education and scientific research by accessing $24 million facility from World Bank under the African Centers of Excellence project. Under the agreement, the University of Ghana received $16 million to establish 2 centers of excellence. The West African Center for Cell Biology of Infectious Pathogens, WAPIP, to provide masters and PhD training in molecular biology of infectious diseases, and the West African Center for Crop Improvement to train plant breeders in plant genetics and seed technology.
Vice Chancellor Emma University of Ghana Professor Nanaba Apianfo enso editudwa se University of Ghana Legonsuapono wonum de esi omani so se wo boa ma adesuafo etumi agina wonum na aso na obedie ene adesua wo ba besua mu enti se wo hwe West African Center for Cell Biology and Infectious Pathogens noa na kire se ene Legonsuapono ni so ade hunu no pepepe ejina baabi ejina se baabi a wo ye hwehwemu kan ya ewiase nyina betumi age atomo no Legonsuapono eka ho bi.
And the 2 other World Bank centers have supported initiatives to enhance UG student experience through digitalization. Additionally, the center has promoted inclusivity by equipping the assistive technology laboratory to improve the teaching and learning support systems for students, faculty, and staff with disabilities. Having accomplished so much in just a decade, WAPIP's performance trajectory can only get better. I would like to assure WAPIP and our other flagship centers of excellence of my unflinching support to ensure that they continue to excel and promote the UG brand. Any Vice Chancellor with these centers ought to be definitely proud. This ceremony sets the tone for us to reflect on the outcomes of work done by WAPIP and its collaborators, the development of health solutions in the sub-region. Hence the theme for this conference, Addressing Health Challenges in Africa, a decade of building world-class and innovative scientific capacity, could not have been better chosen. It pleases me to observe the purposeful selection of experts, researchers, and thought leaders who will be speaking at this conference.
Enfia penuni du nine no emu ena wote saa asoye omani so ade hunu ne se wo ye nhwehwemu afa cell any molecular biology ho na otumi aboa ma enyarwa hodo bi a ya na ka abibiman no otumi agina na woni saa yade no akoate.
Ebusa point 17 so na yenko yenim na Chief Executive Officer Emma Ghana Hydrological Authority John Kisi na wode ato Public Account Committee enimo akire wo mu nianti a ene project akodo akasi wa yentimi enwieye.
In some of the cases where contracts or projects have delayed, it's mostly due to delayed payment of interim payment certificates. And so when it comes to applying liquidated damage, we need to, really be careful in balancing and looking at, the source or why has it delayed. Projects that were awarded a year ago, if for any reason the project delays, it's going to be a lot more expensive for the project to be delivered. And so they have requested a rate review.
That they signed, whether or not it allows us to do a rate review, because there are some of the contracts that expressly stated in them you cannot review the rates. There are some that you can. So we are going through that process of doing the due diligence so that where rate reviews are applicable, we can apply them. Where we have to do an addendum because rate reviews are not applicable, but we can do an addendum as an agreement between the two parties, taking cognizance of all the facts, then we proceed accordingly.
Last year, we established the Hydro Authority, and it looks like it still remains the same funding. And the zeal at which we went through this bill for it to be made an authority, it seems to be eroding, which is a bit of a difficulty. I mean, I've stayed in Asalam Down, and I know the effect of hydro and these rains and all of that. And if we have established this institution, and the ministry is failing to provide adequate funding to the authority, then it's problematic.
We have selected Deloitte as the independent valuation entity, and they will be coming back to us, I think, in about the next 14 days with a recommendation of which of the 5 bidders is the preferred bidder. And then we will enter into negotiations and finally sign a contract with whichever is the successful bidder so that they can get on ground. We are hoping in September to resume work on Saglemi.
Yentwa ensemble so ewo Asante Mantem na National Road Safety Authority mpenifa wo mo ewo Asante Mantem e de adudwa e kire se efi general boso bepem June boso minimu no akwanhia esie ewo Asante Mantem nkwa no eyo ha mo chichemu edusia wo 68%.
The situation from January to June for 2024 as against January to June 2023, we have witnessed some 9% decrease in crashes. However, if we talk about the deaths of fatalities, we have rather seen an increase in fatalities between January and June 2024 as against January and June 2023 of about 12% increase. This is a situation that is worrying. If we take the regional distributions into consideration, Ashanti region is coming out strongly as far as the deaths are concerned. As compared to last year, between January and June 2024 and January to June 2023, Ashanti region has seen an increase of 68% of traffic deaths. National Road Safety Authority will continue to do what we have to do, but we cannot do it alone. The police will have to play their role and ensure that they do the enforcement as it is required and within their limits. The DVL is also playing their role. The emergency services are also playing their role. It's only when all of us come together that we can achieve progress.
Looking at the way forward, especially when it comes to issues of reducing road accident, and I will say that we are also supporting the National Road Safety and other stakeholders who thinks about our way forward, especially as you can hear, the interest for today's program is about us trying to put ourselves together in order to all members to be able to ride safely during the campaign season at this particular year. So I would say that we are all in a good cause by bringing all our members together, and also I want to use this opportunity to thank the National Road Safety for their hard work and their partnership with the National Motor Riders Union. As we have done before, we did the same thing with the IGP, Dr. Dampari, a few years, 2 years ago, which we promised Dampari that we are going to make sure that our members they respect the rules and regulations of the traffic, which today you can see they are doing very well. That has brought the reduction, as you have seen today, even though it's not that to the percentage that we wanted, but that is, I'm giving you an assurance that we will do more in order to make sure that we are able to get the reduction with our members.
Mede ma breka afei na mebe twama ne me ya wansa na makofi akrofo kwa ha dwum ewi ha toto anokre na wo kan no me de misuo kra se nsuo beto ene senke beda ha o
ye beda ha enne ye just sisi birthday se me kodwam kodidwa na mebe ne aduane ma no. Hello
sisi ukunu birthday ni se eba so me de mani ato aduane ne so me need the whole day e ba be difufuo.
Madam I sense fiti anopa besenye masa afei na me twen amanawo me wi amakodwom akodidwa ma brekra
what you are see when him say high sense washing machine. Hey, and na ye ukunu special day or the aduane for party na nyumre na bra showroom asesi ana me nkyere WhatsApp.
Menya idea no me ba sesi a. Hey madam I sense
sisi what bantamo?
I hear traffic be anymore. Nada was the same.
Me see, way any Series 5 smart washing machine no. Me can WhatsApp washing machine and no one app. E senior ma emro. Temperature this in sentino. E kumu mo nkitinkitin nyina afiu niam anim. E mani da ho ye kroje. Series 5 wey dia e de ne ho. Enti afim be mo eno ayi pie. Emma na siesie enya den. Se woniama no na dwene wanyinam kanea ho. Enti enwo kanea ka. Wotimi program S5 smart washing machine say enkekaye bi wontade animi. Ne beyi ni nyina kama. Washing machine programming na. Wotimi ya no smartphone so.
Hey madam I sense. Wodi ade pe siemi o. Mma me ba kon.
Mma ododo. Hisense Series 5 smart washing machine. Ebesi echimu adry in temper.
Me mama kwaba ediba FA Global Group of Company Limited. Jumedia yedini kasepa ensase ho adwuma. Se open half plot, full plot, ana asase eka bia ohia ewon kran ni ne mantem ha de. Se opa asase wo dodoa afienya tema enha ho pi. FA Global yensase no so edideye problem biara enni ho. Upe estate, I mean modern building, fully furnished building, good lifetime estate, abba ediamount. Sell per 3 bedroom, 4 bedroom apartment. Sell pay chakwaya, ube huye, ewo kube chrome number 2, Muslim Cemetery Junction, or hona newo. Sell per roofing sheet, papa, quality, say affordable. Roofing sheets when kwana insio ta won't say, area bar won't say. What the other boss cry and yeshi, young kwani amount 90 years warranty. Our roofing sheet so. FA Global Group of Companies are the most trusted company in the world.
Beda se woda so a ewo atweye na meka wo se Manye Nuekie Kasiebo ena wenugu so a wo hye ewo CTV Ghana's #1 so no follow yen ewo Facebook ne so at my CTVG e show like na wa share e de ama onyanko na wono so enye bi ahwe ento ansem ne so na yenko yenimu yenko eye kwame krom na se beye na enwumasua ho nsem be fa ne ntama efra ewo kwame krom ti no abeto dwa se parliamentary candidate ama de hia womo ewo biakoye empesua ne so honom eye Jane Marie for me di e ade se wo de cement bag mako edunum 50 ene sika som Ghana cedi no 2000 Ghana cedis e de akoma eye suku ye ho se beye na wo de ebeye nsiesie wo mo adan ahodo
Kwame Krom eye kropon a ewo biakoye abato mpesua so ewo ti mantamu na bepie mpesua so ampontu djuma hodo a aban atumi ayebie ene se wabesi school da eye e-blocks o mampene da John Dramani Mahama aban esiye no Kwame Krom fo so enya bi nanso arahosam ne se ene oba nan ebepie mu school mu ha dia hunu se school da no so efa apa ebesi ne wontumi entu hu anamo bia ode eno ato nchen so a emia hodo a aban siye se nke fanya classroom ema emofra no ensua de no eho enode aye dormitory ye kase ema no eda na rehosem ba ko ne se obu anan na kopie mu ewo ba bia emema no eda anase boys dormitory omaja nan ebia ba bia wodware enso eya sefesempa na obura eye danu ankasa mu omoda arehosem ne se omo mattress nyina egugu fom a empampo ontumi enibie yebehu se akoye aniwusem ade ama school no a empo empenyufo awododo school na no anye pene se one nsentrofo ebetwetwe nkomo esanse wosuro se wonfoni ene odi nkura epia ebenam so etimti na sansemi na nam so ama NDC ewe mrashibedwa akunya obona mrane fe Lady JM afatun ho se one mrashibedwane wo mpatam ho eka omo nsase a omo hwe so metimi abo edan no so na miamia hodo a asese no so watimi akrakra
Ofia biakoye ha almost traditional area bia secondary school ewo ho ba ohwe Bostek for school no eye Mahama ni vision eye e-blocks na osiye no ba ko biakoye nso nya achefa na ye de be si boru asase so but nkola no elakine ma bebre ahwe edan no campus aye fi kanche ni bi apa mfama bi boye makanche no apa aye Sanka district no beye ehu bibi ba ni nyina no ye hu hwe sa manu nso ewo ho a mu ni dormitories mema no wo hostel kakra na bebre ho a ese yesa eye biom enti Council of Churches and Charismatic Churches for no eka omohu bom se omba be share dormitory ama school no aye mano enti omo ye fundraising esamede me hu jim I can say education ya dey da makoma so enti no me de me hu jimu ma me bomb 50 bags of cement and I made 2000 Ghana cedis e de eka ehuma omo enti cement no na yakose saba ene me de share school no nsa officially senior o metumi de di juma on pese mo di dia eye dormitory na mba besi
Keda soa ewo enwumasua ensem emu na yenko Asante Mantem na Ashanti Regional Directorate Emma eye Ghana Teaching Service e de atodwa wo kire se akyereche fa wo mu ewo nkronketo mu ne kama se wo mu eya yo ha kakra e de ama afrofro afei e na wo mu eba.
At first the teachers will just will come that they don't want to go to where they have been posted to. It's not new. But this time around, we are lucky with the help of the Minister of Education, the Director General, and other men up there. This time around, they did what we call self-placement. So it is very difficult for teachers to come now that they want to change their place of courses. No way. So this time around, they've accepted because already they know where they are going. And therefore, the idea of them coming back for reposting and other things is no more. This time around, we want to equip them with the requisite skills. You see, their role is to go and impact not only that, but also to ignite the curiosity in the learners so that at the end of the day, they will become a responsible adults in life. So that is what we want to achieve. By doing this, we are empowering them. We want them to embrace the profession with good hearts.
I will encourage you to remain open-minded.
I will encourage you to remain open-minded, curious, and collaborative. The connections you make here today will be valued as you navigate the challenges. Our role as educators extends beyond the confines of our classrooms. We have the unique opportunities and responsibility to prepare our students to thrive in the global world.
Odimonyamfo Samuel Ebujinapo oswafo hwensase ene oboade ne paso na wode atodwe a wo kire se nei form agudie adwuma no ade se ekosopa na senti braso se o my Ghana yenso yebedane ye hu bi.
Theme chosen for this conference, quote, innovation in mining and mineral processing, expanding the frontiers of mining technology, end quote. Therefore, couldn't have been more apt. It underscores a critical innovation placed in shaping the future of our mining industry. Professor Chairman, distinguished guests, colleagues, students, the world's resources have come under severe stress due to rapid population growth and urbanization, increasing agricultural production, and incipient demand for raw materials to meet the needs of our modern-day sophisticated lifestyles, and climate change. The demand for raw materials globally is said to have doubled in the last 20 years. This increasing demand for resources is also contributing to the climate crisis, thereby worsening the pressures on these resources, causing a form of vicious cycle between climate change and resources. Governments across the world are therefore taking measures to address these emerging challenges and improve the sustainability of land and the resource they provide. The landscape of the mining industry in particular is evolving rapidly, and Ghana must position herself strategically to harness the opportunities presented by this dynamic sector. We must therefore continue to develop innovative measures that will promote sustainable mining practices while protecting our environment and contributing to national development. The miners' creed says, and I quote, "If you can't grow it, you have to mine it," end quote. This requires that we develop appropriate technologies for mining to ensure that mining contributes meaningfully to national development.
Yentwa ensem no so ewo ewutu senya Eastern Peswa ne so honom na mrahye emade hia womo ewo ewutu senya Eastern Peswa ne so honom eye wonimonyamfo Mavis Hawakumsin na wade atodwa wo kire se emabu no beye 10,000 a womo ewo ewutu senya East na wenya eye agriculture for food and job program no mu echefa
ni padodo na epe ensumunam esi aponchi ena nantwie sasa aponchi tie dodo na eye yare na ya do so a ye pe sumunam yi na wo se ye pe bibia ye de beboa ene ne agriculture for food and jobs omo ba training ni pa ba akubia ni fingerlings ni feed ena tapoli ena sika be ma no bosome ekopem bosome nsia no wo kan ni na abomu a ebe ya 38,700 Ghana cedi na no say ma wo sa 38,700 di bosome nsia na wo ton wi a wo benya sika 70,000 na se wanya mfaso na wasan di ahyase ebio abaya ma wo sika jetre 38,700 safa koye adwuma eti beneficiaries na mo ye adwuma no mo ye na mo de aboa ekirima mo ye wie so a R&B obeton nam no because obeye cannery now we export eti ni ton no enye wo hawo fingerlings aye produce aye 500,000 fingerlings and aye produce eti obi a benye bi na what to be the ashene adwuma ase za omani bia hwehwe omampanyi otomezi ne ye na bubro na so ya betetim bebun wo kwasronko do a obotum wanya ne nam
when you be wezi what one be what it be a buebusian and that's all man penny the Pahutam or Fifi Mantoma. Na hand or dosso my hand be brave or man penny Yankopan on show.
In addition, we have successfully completed the Trainer of Trainers program, during which 30 unemployed graduates were recruited and trained. These trainers, equipped with all the necessary logistics, are ready to hit the road to districts across the country to train 10,000 program beneficiaries in the coming days. As part of the program preparations, we have recruited a sizable number of youth in the Gomwa, Agona, and the Futu communities and trained them on the manufacturing of tarpaulin tanks. Partnerships have also been forged with over 1,000 hatchery operators to support production of over 10 million fingerlings that the project will require.
Ebusafoye free ewutu senya is na yefa ni enhyiemu ewo dwedie ene sikasem Kasiebo. Ebusafoye mo eradwedie ene sikasem Kasiebo emwem. Na Dr. John Kwache rector of research ewo Institute of Economic Affairs na wada todwa watch say ne yansa no Ghana city no ebesan so asoreja na so ne ho behia se nyoma hodo a ye kra edifi amahodo so edipo Ghana mu ene ne aye kadifiri o Ghana mu ekwa amahodo so no e ho behia se de policy anahyenhye bi ebeto ho.
Stabilize the exchange rate on a permanent basis. We need policies that will maximize our export earnings and reduce import demand, because the problem is that we have this foreign exchange supply and demand gap that is persistent, and we need to close that gap, by addressing the supply side and then the demand side. Then Bank of Ghana should also progressively build up the foreign exchange cover of the CDs it has issued. The current statutory floor is that the bank should cover that with 40% of foreign exchange. We are suggesting that progressively to increase it to about 70% or at least 6 months of import cover. That will give a solid backing to the exchange rate. And where do we get the extra foreign exchange from? Our natural resource wealth. It is there. We can own it and use it to support your CD. It's as simple as that. Go on, please. Fiscal policy. Government must plug the numerous tax loopholes, as I've said, including trade misinvoicing, tax exemptions, and so on that I mentioned. Government must also rationalize its expenditure by curbing recurrent expenditure and then allocating more resources to capital expenditure to spur growth.
Yemfree dwedie ene sikasem Kasiebo emu na yemfa yeni enchiremu ewe ne dwedie Kasiebo. Ebusafoye nto ansem no so ewo enegedie Kasiebo emu na Ivo Nelson Ghana senetwani ya abɔ ne homɔde ye pa ewo senetwa adwuma ne mo sanso producer na enka na ese nansan entebie nhyeda ehunu ewo screen so na wada atodwa wo kyerɛ sɛ nyɛ acting we gyan ne bom no wode nani kyerɛ mu sɛ obɛhwɛ de sukuu so ansana wasanso aba acting adwuma ne mu.
No, I haven't quit acting. I've just put more energy into this, because remember, this is not my only school. This is actually the newest school. We have a early years, the daycare, just like Mama Daycare. So I've been combining here and there, and we've been building this place. It's hard, although it's just the ground floor. This is like just phase 1, but I've been so busy. It's just overshadowed acting and producing, yeah, but I haven't stopped acting, no, not at all. No, I haven't quit acting. I've just put more energy into this, because remember, this is not my only school. This is actually the newest school. We have a early years, the daycare, just like Mama Daycare. So I've been combining here and there, and we've been building this hard. Although it's just the ground floor, this is like just phase 1. But I've been so busy. It's just overshadowed acting and producing, yeah. But I haven't stopped acting, no, not at all.
Ctv Kasiebo no ewo bi emaso na enche ye bia na yekum eye Hamas omo leader anase kandini baako ya we nam so ama eye Israel for asaso akoto ede ahye eye Gaza force wa eye bomb anase topa ya hodo wototo a enye asem kuma kwa ne nyina na mo leader anase kandini eye Ishmael yaniye ya yekun no enti na we nam so ama US man penny Joe Biden wadi atudwa wo kire se ewo se yekum Hamas wo mo leader ne de na mom no ne Israel for ya wonam so ya wototo bomb ne topa ya hodo e wo Gaza no wo kire se nya de a ebetumi aso haw na no kwan bia so na eye papa yi a wonya de be ebe ba bi ekroyi ye Hamas leader Ishmael no ya de se wo konsra hwe na anu ada e wo eye Iran wo mo capital honum ne no mo na nipa bonefo bi ekokum no na Israel for kire se ya de se Gaza for ne kum papa ni senti na yi wo de mentem ho asi ama ahihye so e wo eye Gaza ku ne mu a wototo eye bomb ni ade ahodo na wo kire se eye Ishmael yi wo ye eye omo most senior official baako ya wo no e wo kro ni so honomo ebisafo ansama hodo amede esomo se CTV enwumre no nsia Kasiebo no ne nyina esi na ase ne ye besore so no ye hwe ne a edi Kasiebo ne mu akotene no ebi ECOWAS Parliament ade se wo mo akonsra hwe ewo eye recycling plant ya ewo enkrampumpu ne mantem ekohwe se de aneoma esifa eko ewo honomo Yedo eko eye mankesim na running mate Emma NDC amanyoko no eye Professor Jane na opoku agema na wakonsra hwe anase toabo ewo mankesim ene a driver for adeton forma ene mema akokasa ede atomani mu se ndei wa man ne moye de ne pa de sento pese o man no emu adwo de ane afia ba ye beto no wonto emfa Emma NDC amanyoko no wodwede ene sikasem Kasiebo emu no Dr. John Kwache e de atudwe ya wo kire se ansa na ene isidi no ebesan so asori eja na so ne ho behia se enyoma hodo a ye kra efri amahodo so e de ba my Ghana mu ene nyoma hodo a ye de fra my Ghana mu e kwa amahodo so ne ho behia se ye de policy anasa nhye bi ebeto ho Yaduko obi ema so na eye President Joe Biden e de atudwa wo kire se ewo mu se nipa bonefo bi ekum eye Hamas omo leader de na so se dia Israel for etututuo ene bomb ahodo e wa Gaza na wo kire se nya de se ebeboa kwan bia so ebusafo ensem we afro so eka ho ena mede esom wo se CTV enwumre no nsia Kasiebo da Bex Designs ene pamata de e de share me da Bex Designs e wo techi me pacho opamata de bia bi enti se wo peslit ne kaba se wo pe corset dress se wo pe trousers and top jumpsuit bibia wo pe bia no me pacho wo de komada Bex Designs a obetwa ne kama na wapam e de amawo afa so wo pese wo pamade ana se wo sua se ne pamade na ye pam ne yesu ampache wo koda Bex Designs nchen a wo bekire wo kama wo koso a eya na wabomudin Manye Nuekie bomudin a na che se obenya discount kakra e wo so further Bex e wo number so 0543 967 797 wo further Bex e wo number so a obeje so fefefe wa o hweye e wo fie medase ma mo hweye e wo Facebook medam asepa me pa cha ma nyi we fidie no emfiri ai sanse Kofi Annan e de the front line jumedie no e hye so e de amon medase